Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on the GTO project. There's the body up in the air. This is the next part where we're going to talk about putting the body. Before the body goes on the frame, we're going to talk about the frame. Looks professionally painted, doesn't it? Looks good, but it's not. Axle's never been out of it. Exhaust hasn't been off of it. Body's been lifted off the frame. The e-brake cables, I just left them hang. They were disconnected from the hooks that are on the floor of the car. There you go. You can see that one right there. Brake lines. I'm putting a new brake line. That's a new brake line you see there. But what I did first is I busted all the old lines off of it. I have to do the fuel lines too. And let's talk about frame paint. After your frame is fixed, what you'll find sometimes these body mount holes are egged out and your bushing has fallen through. They're not hard to fix. There's the one up there. You can see the ring where the body mount was. Just started to rust. It's not bad. It's just pitted a little bit. That one wasn't. None of them were worth really fixing on this frame. They were all in great shape. Okay. So I pushed the frame outside, high pressure washed it clean. Just rolling on all four wheels. Brakes are disconnected. Steer it best you can with the front wheels. And then what I did is, after it's washed and painted, same treatment for the underside of the body. I went over the underside of the body. Didn't really wash it, just made sure no holes, things were sealed up, things like that. And then what I do is get your cheap Harbor Freight gun out. Okay, don't use your good gun. I didn't use my solder for this. Break out the cheap gun. Break out the Rust-Oleum semi-gloss black. The LR12 there is a base coat reducer. It flashes off real fast, 10 minutes. What I do is I reduced the semi-gloss Rust-Oleum 4 parts to 1 part reducer. 4 parts this to 1 part the LR12. Guys will say, that won't work, whatever. Then don't watch my video. Here's the frame. Sprayed. The LR12 will flash off, but your paint is still tacky, just as if you spray bombed. You're gonna have to wait till it dries. But the semi-gloss black takes longer to dry. I don't know the oils that are in it. It's a slow drying paint. The LR12 just helps you get it through the gun and onto the surface. Then the LR12 disappears. Do this in a well-ventilated area. The LR12 flashes off, and all you're left with is tacky. Not even real bad. It's not. It probably helped it dry some, because it dries some of the oils out of the paint. It helps the Rust-Oleum dry, and it gets it through the gun. You can't spray the Rust-Oleum; it's too thick. So that's why I reduce it with the LR12. Dump it in the gun through a strainer. Spray real low pressure, because when a paint's real thin like that, it comes out real fast. You can adjust your spray pattern down really small, and then and spray your frame. I mean, look, I did all this, barely a little bit of overspray. But I stood in here and did the inside of the frame, did over the rear axle, did the control arms real quick. Just spray all the way at the back there. There's the fuel lines laying there. There you go. I went the whole way up the sides of the frame, inside and out. I stopped about up at the engine. You'll see the frame not finished up there. I got more work to do up there with brake lines and such. I figured at least get the back half done, get my fuel lines down, get my new brake line down before I start mounting the body. Again, we talked about, and I'll show you. These are new body mounts. Kit with the steels included. This particular one doesn't go here. I believe that's one that doesn't bolt. It just sits there. But anyway, this will probably be one that goes back here. There, and those will bolt down. So you have your new body mounts, your new steels. I'm gonna put them together with some blue Loctite, because you don't want them working themselves loose and a bolt dropping out the bottom while you're driving down the road. If you don't torque them and you stay on top of them for a few times, I'm just gonna use some blue Loctite on them. But that's the progress. If you look, the underside of the car has been painted the same way. No gas tank in it yet. Floor had a couple little, specks, a little rust spot here, a little rust spot there. I covered in the previous video, using the rust converter in the channels and stuff like that. But now this covers painting the outside of the frame, making it look good, without spending a fortune. You can use chassis black. I have used chassis black in the past. I had the semi-gloss on the shelf. I've used it before. So I said, let me use some semi-gloss. So what I'm going to do next, I did put the new brake hose on top of the rear, the new lines across the rear. The rear will get painted too, probably with the spray gun. I'm going to run the new brake line. I'm going to run the new fuel lines. And then move on to the next step, which will, I have to change one emergency brake cable. This is your time to do it now. This front emergency brake cable is frozen. So I'm going to change that front emergency brake cable where it comes back to the adjuster. Because that pokes up into the body when you drop the body back down, so it's easier to change here than it is struggling when the body's on the car. I mean, it can be done, but it's just easier now because I can just rip it out and drop the new one in and feed it up into the body when I put the body back down. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next video. At that point, I'll probably put the body mounts on, show that to you, kind of show it done right before I drop the body back down. This frame looks great, and it's not going to rust when the body's back on it. All right, see you in the next video.